I think OBS is broken. There we go. Okay. Oh my goodness. Even from the intro music, I'm already excited. Oh! We get... Oh my goodness! Oh, so apparently she's supposed to have a mod. She's supposed to be in this mod, so okay, that's something to keep in mind. Oh, and they even have a gallery. Wow, they really bust up the stops on this one. Oh my goodness, I'm even more excited. Okay, so wait, let me just lower that a bit. There we go. There we go. Let me just lower that a bit. Wait, I think that's too low. There we go. I named myself in advance because stupid me forgot to turn on my microphone and I was mute for like for a while. So I'm fortunate enough that I stopped recording here. So I don't really know anything about the mod yet. What's this? This shouldn't be possible. Why am I here? How am I here? Did you bring me back? I don't see any other explanation. Why? We've already established that there's no happiness here, so why? Why can't I look at the script? You didn't do anything, did you? So Monica's not sentient anymore. Or at least doesn't have any access to the script. Are you trying to mess things up even more? How did you... Wait. I know, you installed a mod, haven't you? That's why everything's been changed. Don't you think it's time to let us go? What? You want everything to be like how it should have been? But you really care about them, don't you? I care about you too, but apparently you didn't make the cut, so even if you're excluded from this mod, I'm actually very sad. I wish. Never mind. If you really want it, I won't stop you. I've been fighting to take control of this game again, but if you want to play through the mod, then well, I'll succumb to the mod's control. Does that mean Monica's going to be like, I'm only doing this because the script told me? Or will she not be really sentient and she won't be like, she'll just be a normal girl? I'm not sure. So, do you want me to allow the mod's activation? Obviously, yes. Ah, I know it. I knew it. Midas, or whatever your name actually is, and yes, I named myself Midas again because to me that sounds much more better than Midbit. And I used Midas in an exit music playthrough, or whatever your actual name is. I truly hope that you can find happiness with your choice. I downloaded this mod, and even from the menu, I was excited. So obviously I will, or unless I get the bad ending, of course. Sigh. I lay in bed motionless and staring up at the blank white ceiling. Last night was dreadful. The sound of thunder kept me up for hours. But today is another day, I guess. Let's just hope that it's at least a bit better. With another sigh, I begrudgingly dragged myself out of bed and groggily, oh my goodness, groggily began the monotony of my daily routine. I'm so excited I can't even pronounce some words. Making my way to the kitchen, I haphazardly rummaged through the cupboards, looking for something to eat. Fortunately, there's no tasty homemade breakfast waiting for me. Ouch. Okay, now that's something different from the other mods because other mods portray MC's parents as away for work, but yikes. Ever since my parents' divorce, I've been living off of whatever I find in the kitchen. I live with my mom, but she's always taking business trips abroad. So for the most part, it's pretty much just me at home. It's lonely, but I manage. Although I do miss the smell of bacon and eggs in the morning. Breakfast used to be a family thing. Dad would read the newspaper at the kitchen table while Mom would stand at the stove and fry some famous sunny side up eggs. But all of that feels like a long forgotten memory. Oh, that hurts. Ouch. Now at least breakfast is sorted. I don't know. I don't know that. Not exactly the best start of the day, but it'll do. I do my own shopping since mom's never home, but I usually stick to buying the bare necessities. The ease of using pre-made stuff has pretty much sapped me of the urge to cook meals for myself. And with the food quickly finished, I head for the door. At the very least, the weather looks much better than yesterday's. Clear skies beat thunderstorms any day of the week. That kind of feels like an omen for what this pod has to offer us. The fact that they made effort to make their own music, and I don't know if they made the music or they got it from somewhere, but still, oh my goodness! I'm still lost at my thoughts when I notice a familiar face. It's Sayori. We have quite a history together as children. We were basically inseparable. I'm so excited I can't even talk. Always exploring, getting up to mischief, driving our parents wild. Typical things that young children do, really. As time went on, especially in recent years, we started slowly drifting apart. In fact, I haven't properly spoken to her in a long time. It's a real shame after all. You've shared a lot of fond memories with each other, so this mod is basically a reset. Since this is basically kind of like the introduction to the original game. I'm surprised to see her so early though. A couple of times I glanced out of the classroom window only to see her hurriedly walking along to school. We usually walk to school together, and although she was sometimes a little late to meet me, I never really mind. As we continued to drift apart, however, her lack of punctuality became more frequent and I just decided it would be better if I walked to school alone. Which meant that although I did get to school on time more often, it was quite lonely. Knowing her, she's probably gotten more and more lazy with time. After all, her dedication to sleeping seems to be unwavering. Well, still, I've always enjoyed talking to her. Hey Sayori, I haven't seen you in a while. How have you been? She looks a little surprised with my appearance at the question. I suppose I can't blame her. Oh, hey Midas. I wasn't expecting to see you. That makes two of us. You're up early today, huh? She laughed softly, a misplaced looking frown on her face. I've been alright though. Not a whole lot has changed recently, you know. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Life has been pretty routine these days. School's kinda meh. Although I guess it could be worse. She nods as we both resume to walk to school. Although I can talk to her just fine, there's still an awkward air between us. I guess that's a given, seeing as this is our first proper conversation in a long time. As we carry on making idle small talk, a sudden thought hits me. Anyway, this might come across as a bit out of the blue, but seeing you here has given me an idea. Oh? Well, it's been a while since we've walked together to school. How about we start doing that again? Eh? Would you really want to do that? I'm not very fun to talk to, and I'm always late. I frown. It's really strange to hear Sayori say this, given I've always known her to have a bubbly, cheerful personality. Sayori, that's definitely not true. Well, a bit about always being late is true. I've always loved hanging out with you, and I think we'd have a lot of fun again. Oh my goodness, I can't talk. I'm so excited to see what this mod has to offer. Besides, I've missed you. I'll even help you wake up on time if you need me to. Was that a bit too forward? I don't know. I've never been in this sort of situation before. I mean, we are childhood friends after all, right? Really? Yeah, really. I've missed you too, Midas. Well, let's do it then. From now on, we'll walk to school together, okay? Okay. Ah, there it is. That classic Sayori smile I grew up living. Or loving. My head, I gotta start reading alright. All the memories I have of us together as children feature that smile. No matter where we ventured, parks, playgrounds, forests, that smile would follow. That innocent, childlike sense of adventure we used to have. It's painfully clear that that's long gone. But maybe we can still smile together anyway. So, what have you been up to lately? Usual. I mean games, anime, manga. Basically, what we're doing during quarantine. Yep, it pretty much goes without saying. Oh, Midas, you haven't changed. Are you saying that you think I need some change? No one's perfect. There's always room for improvement. Especially in your case. I'm guessing that you'll still be a part of the Go Home Club. Hey, that cuts a little deep. What do you want me to do? Join the soccer club and trip over everyone? Well, I think a little exercise is good for anyone. I'm very offended if you're trying to call me fat right now. Well, you don't have to join a sports club if you don't want to. Yeah, I was actually thinking of checking out the anime club. Wow, how'd you guess? It does suit my hobbies though, so that was kind of predictable, Midas. Midas, you should try branching out a bit more. Okay, Miss Club Expert, if you're gonna criticize all my club choices, what would you suggest? Well, it just so happens that there's this club that I'm in. Oh, really? Yeah, I'm actually the vice president. Wow, I didn't expect that. Dang. So you get to take all. Sorry. Dang. So you get to take part in all executive decisions, huh? Kind of. The club only has 4 members at the moment, but it's really fun. We're actually looking for new members right now. Ah, so that's why she brought it up. Only 4 members, sounds like you guys are just starting out then. What club is it anyway? It's the school's very own literature club. I unintentionally let out a sigh. Her face dropped, so I don't think that was quite the reaction she was hoping for. In my defense, literature has never quite captured my interest. Unless you count manga as literature. That is, which is literature. My opinion. I knew it. You don't want to join. I understand though. Not many people like reading. Hey, who said I didn't like to read? I love reading. If you count, manga. I muttered the last word to myself more than to Sayori. On the plus side, Sayori laughed at my sheepishness. You sound like someone I know from the literature club. She talks about manga all the time. Oh really? I am actually interested in your club though. Sayori smiles, seemingly content with that I'm showing initiative. If I'm looking for a club to join, I guess the literature club is a good place as any to start. That's great. You should come by sometime. And by sometime, you're hoping for today, aren't you? The sooner the better. Alright, I'll have to look after school today. Yay! Thanks, Midas. Although we should probably hurry up. Don't want to be late now, do we? Yeah, you're right. Within a few minutes, we've arrived at the school entrance amidst a crowd of chattering students. We wave goodbye as we head off to our separate classes. I have Sakurai in the morning, so I'm fairly confident that the next hour or so won't be too bad. Who's Sakurai, you might ask? Only one of the most coolest, most down-to-earth teachers we have in the whole school. Besides being on the young side himself, the experience of high school is much fresher in his mind than in some of the other teachers, especially the older ones. He gives me a smile as I open the door. Ooh, you have sprites! Morning, Midas. How are we doing today? Not bad, sir. Same old, same old. How about you? Well, we're finally starting our module on the 20th century history today, so needless to say, I'm excited. Personally speaking, I hate history, so even if the teacher is good, it'll take a lot of effort to make me interested in history. Oh yeah? First World War, Nazism, Second World War, that stuff? You bet. I've waited all year for this to start. Oh man, you guys are in for a real treat. That's something else I really admire about him. He's so enthusiastic about his subject, and the enthusiasm really makes me learning about history much more enjoyable. Thank goodness. Combined with the fact that he's fairly relaxed, especially when it comes to homework, you can see why he's popular. Although he does have a strict side, of course. Teachers all have that. That side of him comes to light every now and then, so he isn't a pushover. By and large, he's earned the respect of his students by striking the balance just right. I just wish that all of my teachers were as friendly and made efforts to know your students better. Ah, well. I take a seat and one of my classmates, Emmy, smiles and waves. Bouncy and energetic, she has a reputation for her skills in the track field. Even when she isn't running, she's still pretty much a ball of energy. Hey, oh my goodness, they made the effort to... Ah! I'm screaming like a little girl, but I'm so excited. We have one of those odd friendships where we get along well in class, but don't really see each other outside of school. How are you doing, Emmy? Training was really fun today, Midas. Oh? She's always on the hunt for new recruits to join the track team, and she has a habit of dropping some not-so-subtle hints. What does that mean? Yeah, we're always looking for new people, and I know you aren't part of any clubs, so you should totally join us. Do we get an Emmy route? It's funny you mentioned that I'm not part of any clubs, actually. I think I'm going to check out the literature club after school. I didn't really think you were the poetic type, but if you're ever gonna get bored of writing poems, you know where to find me. How many times do I have to tell you that? Alright guys, let's make a start. It's almost criminal that I've had to wait so long to teach my favorite century. Well, that's the school's lessons over. As I linger behind this classroom to gather up my things, I hear the door open. It's Sayori! Hi again, Midas. Hey, the literature club meeting's today, right? Yeah, it is. I was just heading there now. You still want to come along? You betcha. Sayori seems to perk up, looking excited as I still want to come along to the club. Look at you, finally doing some extracurriculars. I mean, if you're the vice president, it can't be all that bad, right? She giggles, making me smile. Each individual member makes it special. Everyone works hard to have fun together. Well, let's not keep them waiting. It'll be rude to show up late. I want to make a good first impression after all. I guess you're right. Come on. It's right this way and up the stairs at the end. I follow Sayori down the hallway. She seems excited, and it's nice to know that I'm making her day at least a little bit better. The stairs lead up to a section of the school that I recognize as the third year's wing. Sayori leads me to a classroom and knocks on the door. Trust me, you're gonna love it. I'm already loving it right now, so what more? She's definitely enthusiastic about this club, that's for sure. After a seemingly long wait, the door finally slides open. A small pink-haired girl peeks out. Hello, manga girl. Sayori? She peeks out even further. Hey, Natsuki! Guess what? I found someone who wants to join our club. The girl who's apparently called Natsuki slowly turns a glare at me and narrows her eyes. Best girl is mad at me. She opens the door fully, and behind her I see another girl sitting at the desk, her face buried in a book. Purple best girl is looking at me. What? Hey, wait, Sayori. Sayori practically pushes Natsuki out of the way. She seems excited to introduce me to the rest of the club members. Childhood best girl is happy that I'm here. Hey guys, I want to introduce you to our newest member, Midas. Sayori, hold up! It's a bit quick to call me a new member, isn't it? Especially since we just said that we just wanted to check this out. And then notice a third girl peek out from behind a bookshelf in the corner of the classroom. Can it be? Is that Monica? Monica is one of the most popular girls of this high school. Everyone seems to flock to her because she's so smart, beautiful, athletic, you name it, she's got it. Unfortunately, this also means she's completely out of my league. And sadly, not in this one, apparently. She looks at me first with a stern look, but then quickly lights up, putting down the book she's holding and rushes over. Ah, Midas, what a surprise! Your sprite is also a surprise. What happened? Well, the whole reason why her sprite in the original games is that she's meant to disturb you because she's the only one who's looking directly at the player. So since Monica isn't sentient in this mod, I guess the sprite change was necessary. Welcome to the club! The girl who has her face buried in the book suddenly jolts up and looks at me. She quickly snaps her book shut and timidly moves to join the conversation. Oh, a new member. My name's Yuri. Yeah. Holy crap! It seems that I've somehow lucked out. Not only is Monica in this club, but there's also a bunch of other cute girls. Am I glad I decided to come here instead of the anime club today? Wisest decision of my life. But enough gawking, Midas. Stop staring and start talking. It's nice to meet you, Yuri. Like Sayori said, I'm Midas. I smile at her and I then turn to Monica. So it sounds like you already know Monica, is that right? That's right. It's great to see you again, Midas. Monica smiles sweetly. We do know each other well. We do know each other. Well, we really talked. Sorry, I said that wrong. But we were in the same class last year. It's kind of strange to say, but having her smile at me so genuinely makes me feel a bit starstruck. The powers of a school idol. You too, Monica. So you guys ran a club with just the four of you then, huh? So you already told me about how you're looking for new members. Well, I've actually been trying to push for more members for a while, but I haven't had any luck recently. Consider me in... Sayori did say, my words dry up in my mouth as Natsuki shoots me a piercing glare. She looks pissed at me, but for what reason I don't know. I haven't really had the chance to do besides walk in and say hello. Sayori, you brought a boy? Yep. He told me he wanted to join just this morning. Not sure if it's just Sayori being an airhead again, but I don't recall promising that I join. You only promised that we check, Sayori. Oh, great. Natsuki glowers at us, folding her arms with an irritated huff. I don't really get why though. Sorry about Natsuki. That's just how it is. She's a little stand-footish to new members. Seeing you in this sprite, Monica, is kind of... I'm not used to it. Oh, it's nothing. I don't mind. Hey, I'm right here, you know. Sorry. I've gotta try and make a good impression though. Come on, Natsuki, we need new members. If you don't feel like being nice to Midas, can you at least be nice for me? Please? This is my favorite sprite of Natsuki. Oh my goodness. I'm laughing like a little girl. I'm feeling quite embarrassed. Jeez, you don't have to make such a big deal out of it. Fine. If you're gonna beg, I guess I have no choice. Hooray! Thanks, Natsuki. Looks like I know who's the tsundere of this group now. It's almost comical, to an extent to which Natsuki fits that trope. Well, maybe my view of the world is just clouded by anime influences though. Me personally, tsunderes are life. Anyway, let's get this conversation back on track. How did you come and learn about the Literature Club, Midas? I'll have to admit, I'm a bit curious about that myself. Sayori and I were just walking to school when she mentioned this club to me. Since I was sort of looking for a club to join, I figured that I should check you guys out. At any rate, Sayori was really enthusiastic about the Literature Club, so... Monica beams at Sayori when she hears this. Guess Sayori has done a good job at advertising for the club. Well, we're not here for the literature necessarily, we're just here for the girls. At least that's what MC's thinking right now. I see. Well, I think this is a great place to start after all. Books can be very enticing. Yeah, it's super fun. I think the club is the only place where I've been feeling comfortable lately. Yikes. That's kind of a bad omen. Sayori's face falls for a moment, but she quickly picks herself back up. It's somewhere you can just sit and read while hanging out with friends. I think they summed up the club pretty well. After all, I've started it to bring together like-minded people who love literature. I'm really happy with how it's turned out so far. It's very cozy. But enough introductions. Why don't you come and take a seat, Midas? Did you bring anything to read? We just told Sayori we'd come here to check the club. We didn't bring anything to read. As she asks that, I realize I'm not much of a reader, much as someone who, quote-unquote, loves literature. To be honest, I haven't thought this through very well. Would joining a club that focuses on reading really be the best thing for me? Oh, no. I don't have any books at the moment. I just haven't seen any good titles recently. I lie through my teeth, hoping Monica doesn't see through my facade. I obviously don't read much, but they believe that I do. Hopefully it'll help me relate to these girls. Well, we have plenty of books here. If you want to check out what we have, I'm sure you'll find something that matches your taste. Is that so? Then I guess I'll head over there. Maybe something might catch my eye. I start to sweat nervously as I walk awkwardly over the bookshelf. There looks to be a good variety of books available, ranging in from genre from horror and fantasy all the way down to non-fiction. Sheepishly, I turn towards... Yeah, oh my goodness! Of course... I don't know what to think because I'm so interested in all of them! We're gonna go by my gut. I love manga, I love Suns, Natsuki's the best girl for me. Natsuki. So, do you have any recommendations? I take a closer look at the books as I say that, and to my surprise, I notice that there's a rather extensive collection of manga on the bookshelves. When I glance up back to the girls, I notice Natsuki staring down at the manga too. Our eyes suddenly meet, and she looks away, blushing. Well, what do you like to read, huh? Honestly, I just read manga most of the time. So the collection down there caught my eye. I didn't know that manga was allowed in the classroom like this. Those are actually Natsuki's. Don't just say it like that. I just put them while I was reorganizing the closet. Monica is always messing with my collection when she goes in there, so I'm trying to make more space for them. As she says this, Natsuki shoots a look at Monica, who smiles sweetly in return. Which series do you have? I read a lot, but I don't think I recognize many here. Most of the book spines are vibrantly colored, with big blocky letters announcing the titles. The Boss is a Maid, Rice Ball Basket, Orange High School Nightclub. I've never heard of any of these series in my life. That probably means they're either way out of my demographic or they're just simply terrible. Ouch. If you're gonna judge, you can do it through the glass on that door. She points to the classroom door. Hey, I wasn't judging or anything. I'm getting all giddy inside. Oh my goodness. This is my favorite sprite of Natsuki, so I do apologize if I'm acting like a girl, like a fangirl right now. I didn't even say anything. I could tell just by your expression that we kinda think it's horrible. But I'll tell you one thing, Midas. Consider this a lesson straight from the Literature Club. Don't judge a book by its cover. In fact, Natsuki stomps over the bookshelf, elbowing me out of the way and pulls out a very pink book from the box set. I'm gonna show you exactly why. She unceremoniously shoves it right into my hands. Ah! I start the cover. It's her first volume of a series titled Parfait Girls, and features 4 girls in colorful attire striking animated feminine poses. It's exceedingly Mo. Well, don't just stand there. What? Natsuki, have you considered that maybe Midas might not want to read this? Excuse me, who are you to say that Midas likes or dislikes something? I quickly break into the conversation and try to relieve some of the sudden tension. Thanks for your concern, Yuri, but I'm definitely open to trying out new things. I don't usually read this stuff, but I'm willing to give it a try. Oh, alright then. Natsuki triumphantly smirks a bit while Yuri abashedly looks away. I don't know if I pronounced that right. I guess I can't satisfy everyone. I then thought you've spent enough time in the literature club to not judge the books by their covers either, Yuri. Manga can have just as deep of storylines as your novels can. I never said they can't. It's just Yuri looks like she's holding herself from saying something. Just what? Just because they have pictures in them they're childish or something? Well, there's a reason why people say a picture is worth 1,000 words. Sometimes there are things that are best described through art. Manga blends both good art and good writing that get to create a fantastic story. Plus, being able to actually see the characters helps you relate and empathize with them. Yuri thinks to herself, looking a bit perturbed. I've never heard that word before. I see. I just mean that manga is a bit unorthodox as a medium. Well, manga is literature too. It's obvious that the 2 girls have their differences. Yuri appears comparably more mature and timid, and seems to have a hard time keeping up with people like Sayuri and Natsuki. Meanwhile, Natsuki seems to be a lot more forward and outspoken. And although she looks like the youngest in the club, she's clearly just as passionate about her hobbies as the others are. Anyway, this'll be your homework today, Midas. I'll let you borrow Volume 1 for tonight, so you can start on the next book tomorrow. It's just my first club. I just promised to check this club, and you're giving me homework? Oh my goodness. But if you smudge it or bend it, I'll kill you. You don't have to worry about that. I'm pretty protective of my manga too. Is it really alright if I borrow it though? I say that mostly because I didn't plan on using my spare time to read this. Haha! Well, of course. It would take forever to finish if you only read it here. I might fall behind on some shows if I try to get through this. But I suppose it's a necessary sacrifice in exchange for seeing Natsuki's enthusiastic face. Or am I more scared of what'll happen if I don't finish it? Or this soon's gonna kick our ass if we don't finish it? Okay then. The girls on the cover of the manga beam up at me, and I can't help but shiver a bit. I guess I shouldn't underestimate what high school girls are into. Hopefully I can get away with skimming through it. Make sure to read it thoroughly, cause I'll be quizzing you on that tomorrow. What kind of assignment is this? Is she a mind reader? In that case, I'll think I'll give it a shot now actually. I want to make sure that I have enough time to finish it after all. Fine, but I'll be keeping a close eye on you then. I slide into a nearby desk as I read, as the rest of the girls dissipate, moving to their work on their own things. Or to work on their own things, sorry. I quickly start flipping through the pages. Given that pictures take up a majority of the space of the pages, of the manga. It doesn't take me long to get to the beginning. As I read, I become more aware of Natsuki sneaking peeks in my direction. She seems intently focused on my face as if waiting to see my reactions to her manga. I clear my throat. Ahem, Natsuki, do you need something? You seem to really like looking at my direction. That's quite flirtatious, MC. I feel a smile creeping through as Natsuki starts to furiously blush and splutters a response. Baka! It's not like I was looking at you or anything, I was just staring into space. You mean I'm blank space? Don't you have anything better to do? Yeah, of course. With that, Nazi huffily turns away to seek refuge in the closet, where loud rummaging sounds follow. I guess I should keep on reading then. As it turns out, Parfait Girls is just what I imagined it would be. It's basically about a bunch of friends in high school and the cutesy hijinks that they get themselves into. Typical slice of life affair. I kind of grow out of these, since it's rare for the writing to be entertaining enough to make up for the lack of plot. To its credit, it does manage to subvert some anime tropes quite neatly though. So, the more I read, the more I can see why it appeals to Natsuki. All that talk about appreciating the expressiveness of art. While I don't exactly read romance manga usually, the artist usually does a good job of portraying the girls as their own characters. I often find that the girls in these stories are bland and unoriginal, not to mention that they suffer from the same face syndrome too. So it's a pleasant surprise to find that the title characters are likable and unique in their own ways. Still, over time I can't help but grow a little bored though. I decided I'll finish it later tonight and I placed the novel in my bag. Looking up, I spot Sayori reading something. Might as well see what she's up to. Standing up with a stretch, I make my way over and take a seat next to her. Hey, how's it going, Sayori? What are you reading? As I sit down, I notice that she looks quite content. Nothing much, just reading some stuff for a school project. What about you? You seemed really into your book. Oh, yeah, it was a good read, at least as far as I can tell right now. I can't help but I wish I sounded a little more enthusiastic. That's great. So, how are you liking the club? You're not bored, are you? She looks a little worried, her cheerful persona faltering for a moment. Where'd that question come from? It's a bit too early to tell how I feel about the club. Of course not, Sayori. I haven't been here for long, but I've enjoyed meeting everyone. They've opened my eyes to new stuff. I've never been huge on reading, but I'm confident the literature club could change that. And I'm glad to hear that you're involved. You don't want to join a club that you don't have any interest in, right? I know what you mean. I think reading will grow on me in time. Actually, do you mind if I sit with you and read? She looks at me, clearly surprised. I don't think she was expecting me to sit next to her. But nonetheless, she seems happy. Her smile is infectious, lifting my own spirits too. Just a cheerful old Sayori. Definitely great, Midas. We read for a while, which turns into talking fairly quickly, our conversation being a continuation of our chat from the walk to school. It's nice to just sit and talk with my childhood friend. Who would have guessed reconnecting would be so easy? I haven't felt this content for as long as I can remember. The good mood reflects on her as well, given that she seems very uplifted and bubbly. I don't know what it is about her that makes me so at ease. Wow, we've been talking for a bit, haven't we? Man, I didn't even realize the time. I guess we've been talking for a while. I can see why you would come to the literature club so much. There really is a welcome at ease vibe here. It must be a nice change of pace after a hectic school can be. How hectic the school can be. Sorry. I was hoping you'd say that, Midas. It really is, and I'm grateful for the others as well. They really make the club the way it is. I can't help but notice that Natsuki and Yuri seem to be very different though. Do they argue much? She looks a little downcast at my question. Sometimes, yes, but thankfully it isn't often. I can sense that this isn't a topic she likes discussing, and I'm sensing that we'll dive into this problem soon in the future. Well, that's only normal, I guess. Monica seems like a great president, though. She must be very proud of this club. Just then, Monica gets up from the desk she was sitting at and faces the classroom confidently. Speak of the devil. Okay, everyone, I hope we're all having a good time so far. There's a good moment of silence during which everyone seems to be glancing at me. Do they want me to respond? I'm honestly having a great time. Thanks for the warm welcome, everyone. Well, that's great to hear. And as it turns out, Natsuki baked some cupcakes for the club too. Yeah, I know. I was just about to announce it, so let me get them. Let's go sit over there, Midas. It looks like there's room at those desks for all of us. I dutifully follow Sayori over to where the rest of the girls have pulled a couple of desks together to form a table. How about I make some tea as well? Natsuki and Yuri walk over to the corner room where Natsuki grabs a wrap tray and Yuri opens the closet. Still feeling a bit awkward, I opt to take a seat next to Sayori. If the conversation starts to die out, I can always rely on her to save me. Meanwhile, Natsuki proudly marches back to the table, tray in hand. Okay, are you guys ready? Ta-da! What? We even have art! Natsuki lifts the foil off the tray to reveal a dozen white fluffy cupcakes decorated to look like little cats. The whiskers are drawn with icing and little pieces of chocolate were used to make ears. So cute! I had no idea you were so good at baking, Natsuki. Well, just hurry and take one. Sayori grabs one first and Monica, I follow. It's delicious! Sayori talks with her mouth full and it has already managed to get icing on her face. I turn the cupcake around with my fingers looking for the best angle to take a bite. Natsuki is quiet. I can't help but notice her sneaking glances in my direction. Is she waiting for me to take a bite? I finally bite down. The icing is sweet and full of flavor. If she made it all by herself, that's seriously impressive. It practically tastes professionally done to me. But then again, it's not like I have the most discerning taste palette. I'm stuttering. These cupcakes are amazing. Thanks, Natsuki. Yeah, you better thank me. Cause this took hard work to do. Yeah, it really seems like it. Do you make it by yourself or did your parents help you? Yeah, what is that supposed to mean? Are you saying I couldn't have done it myself? No, it just seems professionally made. So I was wondering if an actual baker helped you. Oof, I wish my dad was a baker. But just because I don't make for money doesn't mean I can't be good. Yeah, you're right. Sorry. I just suck at cooking myself. So I am wowed by good cooking. I guess I should count myself lucky that I got to try your cupcakes today, eh? Uh-huh. It's not every day that I get time to bake, so be thankful. The expression on Natsuki's face practically says, bow down before me, peasant. Are you expecting Midas to prostrate yourself before you? Looks like Midas had the same thought. You can't blame Natsuki for bragging a little though. I would too if I made these. Yeah, exactly. Natsuki smiles gratefully at Sayori's save. Meanwhile, Yuri returns to the table carrying a tea set. She carefully places a teacup in front of each of us before setting down the teapot next to the cupcake tray. You keep a whole tea set in this room? Don't worry, the teachers gave us permission. After all, doesn't a hot cup of tea help you enjoy a good book? I guess. Don't let yourself get intimidated. Yuri's just trying to impress you. Just like what Natsuki did. That's not embarrassed. Yuri looks away. I meant that, Don't worry about it. I believe you. Tea and reading might not be a common pastime for me, but I can at least appreciate it. I'm glad. Yuri faintly smiles to her in relief. Monica raises an eyebrow and smiles at me. I'm happy that you look like you're enjoying yourself, Midas. As president of the literature club, it is my duty to make the club fun and exciting for everyone. Oh, that reminds me. I've been meaning to ask you something, Monica. How come you decided to start your own club? You could probably be a board member for any of the major clubs. Weren't you the leader of the debate club last year? Well, to be honest, I can't stand off the politics around the major clubs. It feels like nothing but arguing about the budget and publicity about and how to prepare for events. I'd much rather take something I personally enjoy and make something special out of it. And if it encourages others to get into literature, then I'm fulfilling that dream. Monica's really a great leader. Yuri also nods in agreement. Then I'm surprised that there aren't more people in the club yet. But I guess it must be hard to start a new club, since everyone's probably settled in their own activities already. You could put it that way. It can be hard to get people involved in things that are brand new, especially when it's something that doesn't grab your attention, like literature. You have to work to convince people that you're both fun and worthwhile. But it makes school events like the cultural festival that much more important. Speaking of school events, I don't think I saw your club at the club fair at the beginning of the year. That's because I haven't started yet. Aha! Oh, guess that explains why you don't have any members yet. Yeah, we missed that opportunity to join the first years who hadn't found clubs yet. It's a lot harder to advertise on a person-by-person basis. And like you said, a lot of people already have other extracurriculars by now. But even so, I'm confident that we can all really grow this club before we graduate. Right, everyone? Yeah, we'll do our best. You know it! Everyone enthusiastically agrees. Such different girls, all interested in the same goal. Monica must have really worked hard just to find these three. Maybe that's why they're also delighted by the idea of a new member joining. Though I still don't know if I can keep up with their level of enthusiasm about literature. By the way, I know that everyone here likes reading, but do you guys write as well? Actually, we haven't really done any writing together, funnily enough. Even if it's just new renditions of the original music, it's actually really good. Do you guys just read and discuss books then? You guess you can say that. It sounds more like a normal book club than a literature club. Huh, to be honest, I was expecting you to do stuff like write poetry together. At the word poetry, Natsuki jolts back a bit. Oh my goodness, this music! Do you not like poetry, Natsuki? What? I don't really have an opinion on it, I guess. Oh really? With a sly smile, Monica gets up and rummages through her book bag and returns with a loose notebook back in her hands. I happen to have here a poem called... Hey, where'd you get that? Oh my goodness, the music, it's so infectiously happy. I can't describe it. Natsuki springs up and snatches the paper out of Monica's grasp. Don't worry, I didn't steal it from your bag or anything. You dropped it on the way on the other day. I was going to return it, but I couldn't help teasing you a bit before I did that. Well, I'd appreciate if you keep your nosy nose out of my private work. Duly noted, and sorry. I couldn't help glancing at your poem when I picked it up. Your writing style is really cute, Natsuki. And your cupcakes, your poems. Everything you do is just as cute as you are. Sayuri sidles up behind Natsuki and pulls her hands on her shoulders. I am not cute. Hey, there's nothing to be ashamed of. So you do write your own poems, Natsuki. Well, I guess sometimes. Why do you care? I just think that's pretty neat. Why don't you share them with the club sometime? Not if everyone's just gonna call them cute. Like Sayuri said, there's nothing wrong with being cute, you know. You wouldn't get it. There's nothing worse than trying to get honest feedback from someone and they're just going to have them say it's cute. Scorn drips from the word cute. I guess I didn't think of it that way. Is that scorn going to affect something in the future? I don't know. Yeah, no one does. It's super annoying, you know. Actually, I believe I understand how Natsuki feels. Natsuki looks surprised at Yuri's sudden interjection. Sharing that level of writing takes more than just confidence. The truest form of writing is writing to oneself. You must be willing to open up to your readers, exposing your vulnerabilities, and showing even the deepest reaches of your heart. And when it's all dismissed with a single remark, well, suffice to say, it can greatly discourage you from putting your work out there then. It sounds like both you and Natsuki have writing experiences in common, Yuri. Maybe. Although I didn't speak for Natsuki. Jeez, it's fine. I pretty much agree with what you said, so a brief moment of silence falls upon us. We all reflect on the conversation. That just gives me an idea, everyone. We all look quizzically at Monica, who smiles knowingly back at us. If we have members who are looking for legitimate criticism of their poetry, how about we do that here? I'm sure we can all trust each other to be respectful, and I think it will be a fun activity for us. I don't know if I feel comfortable sharing my old poetry. I didn't write to myself to read it by the public, so... Yeah, same here. That's fine, we can all just go home and write new poems to bring tomorrow. I was going to suggest that anyway, since I don't think the rest of us have a poetry ready to share yet. Yeah, that sounds awesome. I think learning about poetry would be really fun. And now that we have a new member, I think that'll help us all get a little more comfortable with each other and strengthen the bond of the club. Isn't that right, Midas? Monica smiles warmly at me once again. The literature club has been very welcoming so far, at least after the initial introductions were made. And although I'll have to start writing poems, it seems like a fair price to pay in order to spend every day with these beautiful girls. I had my doubts at first, but given how friendly and welcoming these girls are, I don't really see any reason why I shouldn't join the club. Yep, I'll be looking forward to becoming better friends with you all. Then that makes it official! Welcome to the Literature Club! Thank you, Monica. Yes! I'm so happy you're joining us! Sayuri wraps her arms around me, jumping up and down. Hey! And thanks for playing along! She whispers this last remark in my ear, so she was aware that I'd never agreed to join in the beginning. That sneaky girl! Although Sayuri is the most enthusiastic, all of the girls are lit up with happiness. I would have been super pissed if you just left after eating my cupcakes. And I'm very glad you're staying as well. Okay everyone, I think with that we can officially end today's meeting on a good note. Don't forget tonight's assignment. Write a poem to bring to the next meeting so we can all hold discussions. Monica looks over at me and smiles once more. Midas, I look forward to seeing how you express yourself. Yeah, can I really impress Monica with my mediocre writing and reading skills? Something that tells me no. Jeez, I can already feel the anxiety welling up inside me. Oh well, it's not like Monica's going to be harsh as an actual literature teacher though, right? Meanwhile, the others continue their chit-chat as Natsuki and Yuri clean up their food. Hey, since we're already here, do you want to walk home together? Given that she introduced me to all these amazing people, it's the least I can do for her. Sure, let's head home. With that, the two of us finally wave goodbye to the others and make our way home. On the way back, we discussed the events of the day, focusing particularly on each club member. As we do so, my mind wanders between them all. Sayori, Natsuki, Yuri, and Monica. I'm excited to hang out with everyone from now on. Perhaps I'll have the chance to grow closer to one of them? Alright, I'll just need to make most of my circumstances, and I'm sure good fortune will find me. And I guess that starts with writing a poem tonight. Oh my goodness, what's this? It's the goodnight animation? Alright, we're writing. Oh no. I wanna take Natsuki. So, okay, Yuri, dark and deep. Sayori, bittersweet. So anything that sounds sweet and childish is Natsuki. Kiri, sunshine. Oh wait, that's the Sayori word. I should have guessed from the fact that many people do see her as the sun. Firework. Oh my goodness. Candy. I'm not taking joy. No, you're not pranking me again. Oh my, what? I'm honestly chat. Fuck. Shiny. Manga. Let's play Sage. Doki Doki. Milk. Which one is a Natsuki word? Electricity. Okay, that's okay. Friend. Oh my goodness, I want Natsuki. Kawaii. Skirt. Rain. Oh my. Sit down, Sayori. Parfait. Puppy. Oh my goodness, three words left. Which one? I feel like this is a Sayori word. Clouds. Vanilla. Last word. Silly. Oh my god. I think I got most Natsuki words right.